Hello everyone, True Zero Emissions here. Okay, let's see how the charger's doing. We got the Roger charger charging up right now. We're at 368 watts. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the power up. So I'm never gonna touch the voltage once it's running, okay? That's my understanding. That's just what I think is the way it's supposed to be used, because in the video that I watched of Roger setting this up, let's see how he did it. Let me think. He plugged the charger in to the wall outlet. The charger was not connected to the battery. He set the voltage to 1 volt above that which is the battery's maximum voltage, right? So this battery is called a 72 volt nominal battery, but the chargers on it that came with it charge it at 84 volts, right? 2 amps, 84 volts, and there's 2 chargers, so it's 4 amps. The booklet said I can use 2 5-amp chargers, 84 volts, 5-amp chargers, and I can use 2. That's 10 amps. We can add the amperage, right? So 10 amps, 84 volts. So what I did was, and Roger said as an example, that Roger's the person that made this charger. As an example, he said that if you have a 100 volt battery, to set the charger at 101 volts, so 1 volt above. So I set the voltage on this to 85 volts, right? Because my battery is 84 volts fully charged. So I set the charger to 85 volts. Okay, so what I do, I plugged in the charger. The charger was not, I plugged in the charger to the wall. The charger was not connected to the battery. The amps, I forgot to mention that the amps is going to be set somewhere in the middle, okay? So between the two extremes. So if it turns all the way left and all the way right, go between those two. With the amperage set in the middle, if I recall correctly, I hope I'm remembering this correctly, with it in the middle, we set the voltage to, in my case, it was 85 volts, right, for an 84 volt fully charged battery. Okay, once the voltage was stable at 85, still not plugged in to the battery, right? Not plugged in yet. I'm just giving you an example of what I did, how I did this before I connected it. I set the voltage to 85 volts, it stayed there, right? Not connected to the battery yet. I went back to the amperage and turned it counterclockwise all the way till it stopped. The voltage on the display the voltage on the display, I'll wait for the airplane to go by. That's probably louder. The voltage on the display, when I turned the amperage counterclockwise all the way, right, until it stopped, the voltage dropped. It dropped all the way down to like less than a volt. It just dropped way down. Once that stopped dropping, I plugged in both of the plugs, because I used the 2 plugs. This is 1 plug into 2, right? Into these 2. That's the way I did it. And I checked polarity like 25 times at least. I just kept checking it over and over before I connected everything. I checked what was in this coming out to the plug. I checked the plug to the battery. I checked these one at a time. I checked the plug by itself to make sure one end was matching the other end. I checked everything many times. I always check polarity many times. And I might even walk away from it and then come back again and check it later. I've done that where I've come back and I was just repeating the same mistake, not catching that I actually had something connected wrong. That was on a different project I was doing. This one, I know to take a break from. If I'm not sure, I just want to be extra sure. I walk away from it and I come back a few minutes later and I double check everything again like brand new, just check it all. And that helps me to catch any mistake I might have made. It's almost like if I'm reading something like a phone number, if I'm reading a phone number wrong and I just keep repeating it the wrong way or something like that, right? I've done that where I'm saying one thing but writing something else, and then I just keep saying it over and over, but I keep repeating the mistake. I've done that too. I don't know if I explained that very good, but I just know I've repeated mistakes before. So where are we? So now the voltage is stable, the amperage has been turned all the way to the counterclockwise to the left, right, to the left, and then I plug those in when the amperage is turned all the way to the left and the voltage drops almost to 0, very low. I plug it in, and then I start turning up the amperage just a little bit, right? Just a little until the amps on the meter on the display start to show. Once it shows something, then I just slowly increase it. And I just barely turned it and it went up to almost 4. So I'm gonna increase it more now, okay? So 363.5 watts at 3.9 amps. 3.9 amps. Okay, let's go ahead and turn that up now. Let's see what happens. Now, when I'm down here, the fans are so noisy that you're not going to be able to hear me. But let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to increase the amperage now. Okay, so now we're at 10 amps, right? Let's go look at what our wattage is. Okay, the wattage is going to be more now. The watts is going to be higher, right? Because I increased the amps. But we're at exactly 10 amps now. And that's what the booklet says is okay to do. The booklet literally says that I can run 2 5-amp chargers and charge the battery in approximately 3.5 hours. So it comes with two 2-amp chargers, which is 8.5 hours, right? But this is the numbers that are very exciting to me. Charging time, use 5 amps times 2, about 3.5 hours. That's much better, right? Customers are required to purchase 84-volt 5-amp chargers. So there it is. And that's what we're at now. 5 amps plus 5 amps is 10 amps, and that's what we're at. And at 10 amps, what's our wattage? We're putting in 877 watts. 877 watts. Now if you want to see what I've been studying a lot, go to gbatteries.com and study everything on that page. Take notes, take screenshots. Write everything down that you see there. There's no way to emphasize how relevant and how important it is to understand what they are doing. This company, by just experimenting with different approaches to charging batteries, to charging cell phone batteries, that's how this started over 15 years ago. And now it's a big company. But the products are not available to the public yet. I'm going to call it private industry. The products are out there, but not to the public. I can't buy a 5-minute fast charger for this, or a 10-minute fast charger. But they make them, and they have the technology. It's a way to charge batteries that allows the battery to remain at a low resistance. So it's not forcing the energy in the battery. It's charging the battery in a way that is... let me think of if there's words that I would use to describe it. Like almost like a variable... I don't know if you call it like variable voltage, variable current. Like where it's always changing, or the frequency's always changing. They explain it very well on the webpage, but if you love to learn things and understand things, whether that company ever makes it to the public or not, because we don't know, right? We hope it does, but what they achieved will always be relevant because we are using batteries more than ever now for our transportation, for electric bicycles, electric scooters, electric cars. They can charge, and it doesn't matter how big the battery is, they can charge an electric car in 5 to 10 minutes with less battery degradation, less loss of cycle life than slow charging. And they've already proven this over and over independently. So all the people that cursed at them and told them they're fakes and frauds in the beginning, a lot of those scientists around the world that called them all those names came back and apologized once they realized that they were for real. And the scientists just didn't understand this new material that they had generated through experience and experimentation, through trying something new, right? There's always another way. So never forget that. Okay, everyone, I'm really excited to see what you do with that information and what you create. And don't forget, this channel exists because of your ideas, your thoughts, your passion for learning. And we all share this together. That's why we're here as a community, sharing our passion to learn, to experiment, and to continue to do new things, right? To continue to charge batteries faster, safer, and less damage. And when are we going to make a scooter that hovers, right? We all want a hovering scooter that is totally stable, right? Not unsafe, right? Because some people think, oh, well, would it be safe? Well, yes, of course it would. The technology already exists. The universe exists, right? That's like the ultimate technology, the universe, right? It's like the ultimate technology and the ultimate consciousness and the ultimate intelligence, right? The resonant morphic field of infinite intelligence, some have called it. Anyway, everyone, okay, until next time, see you soon. Bye.